the music so epic?
Khao Soi is a full body, life-changing.
Is this Khao Soi or UFC fight?
Enough talk. Let's make this, shall we?
Today we're gonna review Uncle Joshua making Khao Soi. This is Chiang Mai, Thailand, most famous dish, one of Uncle Roger's favorite also.
I thought egg fried rice and curry was like Uncle Roger's favorite as well. Also, why is Joshua playing classical music? And if I'm not mistaken, this is Antonio Vivaldi's Four Seasons.
First step, we'll be making the curry paste, which will be our base to our chicken curry soup. We'll then prep all of our toppings, including our game-changing noodles, which will
Is it
game-changing noodles.
Is it game-changing or is it just deep fried?
It makes all the difference. It gives the texture.
So first we need to make the paste. There's two main spices, but the one I want to focus on is Chinese black cardamom.
Yo, black cardamom, correct. This is the spice that makes Khao Soi special. Good start, Uncle Joshua. Many Western Thai restaurants try to skimp on this ingredient.
You want to crack these pods open. You can use the bottom of a bowl. And the goal is that you open them up inside has what you want. That's where all
Correct.
are.
I'm liking Joshua's new cooking channel. I like the setup. I love his kitchen. It is beautiful. Golly, I would love to have a kitchen like this.
And to that we have 3.5 tablespoons of coriander seed.
Coriander seed, correct.
Toast in a pan. Now you can do this in an
Toasting, correct.
I prefer a pan. Pan's so much easier. This is gonna bring out the flavor, intensify the flavor, bring out those natural oils. You have to do this. This is non-negotiable.
All good so far, but Uncle Joshua, your backdrop looked too organized. It looks so tidy, it almost looked fake. Uncle Roger know it real because I actually go to Uncle Joshua's studio before. But this background, it kind of looked like some weird Microsoft Teams green screen bullshit. Hiya. Like, see, why all the saucepans spaced so evenly? And who cooked with 4 of the exact same size copper saucepan? Uncle Roger watched so many YouTube cooking videos. Not single person cooked with copper saucepan.
Copper pans are extremely good to use because of the way that they conduct the energy, and they're just great pans. The only problem with them is that they're extremely expensive, and I wouldn't be surprised if a few of those pans behind them cost $200 to $300 a piece. Copper will develop a patina after a while. Now, if you allow the patina to form, it's fine. It doesn't do anything wrong with the pan itself. It's actually protecting it. So if you want your copper pans to stay nice and bright, you can either use chemicals or you can take a little bit of salt, a lemon, and then give them a good scrub.
This just for show?
We're gonna char our veg too. We have 4 shallots, 2 ounces of ginger, and 1 ounce of turmeric.
Turmeric, correct?
Peel the ginger and the turmeric. Got a little parchment so I can clean up my mess. Little secret, a spoon, not a peeler.
Spooning ginger, that good technique. If you can't spoon woman, spoon ginger. Good alternative.
Or you could use a bowl. I mean to collect all the debris. I don't mean about what Uncle Roger's talking about. Now, what Joshua's doing with the little trick of parchment paper, I've used it in the kitchen before. You can, and when you're working in an industrial kitchen, you don't care about food costs if you're not the head chef.
This is the best way to do it because it helps you get in those little cracks and crevices, the little gnarly bits.
Correct.
Okay, same with the turmeric. Be careful because turmeric does stain stuff, so I would be very gentle with this to not spray too much because it will stain including your hand.
It'd also be a good idea to wear gloves if you don't want to stain your hands. The same thing when peeling artichokes. Like if you have to peel a case of artichokes, that's a lot of artichokes, best to use gloves, otherwise your hands will turn a little purple.
And carefully pick that up and your
Wait. So that all the parchment paper is for? Just for easy clean up? You know what easier than parchment paper? Just sweep shit off the board like normal people. Hiya. All this step to save no time. Uncle Joshua, not everyone have little servant to go buy parchment paper for you.
Switching to gloves. I'm not washing my hands again, ever.
See what I mean? Even Uncle Roger agrees.
You split that in half. You're gonna notice I'm cutting this not on the board. Don't do what I'm doing. This is not safe at all. I just don't want to stain this cutting board. So beware that this will stain your cutting board.
So you're gonna risk cutting off your finger, all because you don't want to stain your chopping board? Why are you so precious about your crate and barrel board? Have you seen how Asian people treat our chopping board? We just whack our knife in there, use that as storage.
Yeah, don't do that with your cutting board. You don't want to create divots and little crevices or crack it, because if you do, food will go in that and then it'll just start festering. And this is why the health department doesn't allow us to use wood boards in the majority of places in the US. Even here in some European countries, wood is not allowed. But the thing is, if you're worried about messing up your $200, $300 wood cutting board, you can just use a cheap little plastic cutting board. They're disposable. You can toss them if you need.
This pan needs to be very hot, like medium-high heat. It could be stainless steel, it could be cast iron, just get it hot.
Or it can be copper. Maybe one day you're gonna use one of those pans.
He has a point about that. And if we actually take a look at these copper pans, it's a little hard to see because they're a little out of focus with the bottoms, but it doesn't look like they have any scratches on the bottoms. It doesn't look like they've been used once. The only issue that I have with copper is the price, because if you have a set of like copper pans in your family, keep them. Don't get rid of them because they are extremely expensive.
Once the pan's hot, nice and dry, we're gonna put our ginger.
Okay.
Cut side down.
Toasting ginger, good.
Cut side down. And
Correct.
all of our shallot also cut side down.
Bring out more flavor.
If you're having trouble getting this to stay, you can put another pan on top. You can also use these chef press things, which I love. This will just kind of help get them pressed down.
Another fancy equipment.
Yeah, you don't need to be buying these.
But a little bit of good char on each would be nice. If you're struggling to char it, I may recommend a simple tool. That will definitely char it. Once that's all charred,
First he assumed we got parchment paper. Now he assumed we got flamethrower. Uncle Joshua, don't need to show off your equipment. I know you got everything.
You do have to admit though, the torch that he is using is a serious torch. You could burn the house down with that thing. Now, blackening your shallots and onions or your garnish is not a very new thing. I mean, more than 10 years ago when I was in London working under Jason Atherton, on the menu, I had to do this. And then you can use this for garnish on plates. This actually works really well, especially with pearl onions.
into that blender is gonna go
Okay,
your spices
blender correct.
and
Turn into powder.
ounces of guajillo chilies that have just been snipped into like 1-inch to 1/2-inch segments. Make sure to remove the seeds, and then we're just going to
This kind of chili correct also. Khao soi, not super spicy dish, so you don't need the tiny super spicy bird eye chili.
That's good to know. I haven't had this dish before.
blend that on high until it reaches a nice, beautiful, fine powder, just like this. And it's so fragrant. Once you blend this, I mean, it's ridiculous. That's like opening a fresh bag of Doritos, but better than Doritos.
No.
So once you
Don't compare khao soi to Doritos.
Sounds like somebody likes Doritos.
Woo! Yeah!
remove that, you're then going to add your charred vegetables, along with 4
Okay.
cloves of fresh garlic,
Now he's making the paste.
kosher salt. Pop your lid on.
But Uncle Roger prefer using pestle and mortar to make paste more traditional. And notice something. Notice how one of his ingredient in there is salt.
4 teaspoons of kosher salt.
You don't need salt in there, Uncle Joshua. You only need salt if you're using pestle and mortar, because the rough salt particle help break down all the vegetable into paste. Salt here, not for seasoning. Salt is used in pestle and mortar to make pounding easier, and everybody like easy pounding. But if you use blender, the blender gonna blend everything anyway. Don't need salt. Small mistake.
There's a big difference though between pounding something and then cutting it or blending it. Because when you put things into a blender, if the blades are sharp, you're going to be cutting them. If they're dull, it's just going to be crushing them anyway. But in any case, the idea is to cut them in a blender. I'll be very honest with you though. If you have a Thermomix at home, which is the best machine to have, use that instead.
Speed it up a little. Give it a second. Now, once that's roughly a paste, you're then gonna add your spices and blend again until as smooth as possible. Okay, this might be really spicy for your eyes, possibly.
And speaking of video, that too spicy for your eye.
I'll cut Uncle Roger off there before he says something naughty.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
It is a very good idea to open up the windows or to turn on the fan or something. It's basically like taking mace to the face.
And once it's all said and done, you should have a beautifully smooth, lovely red khao soi paste.
Khao soi
This is
paste
the
look not
base.
bad.
You
Nice.
gotta get it right. So before we cook this, I need to mention something very important. You see the khao soi paste you made, you're only gonna use half of. What? Look, I doubled the recipe because it's kind of high effort to make this paste. You use half of it in this recipe now and freeze the other half so you can make it again in the future. You don't have to make the khao soi paste twice.
That good idea, you know why? Because khao soi paste you cannot get at random grocery store. Grocery store you can just get green curry paste, red curry paste, tom yum paste, but khao soi paste you always have to homemade. So yeah, make more and freeze it.
Fully agree with this, and I say this all the time. Anytime that you're going to be making something that's a little laborious, that you have to put a lot of work into, it's a better idea to double, triple, or quadruple the recipe if you can. Freeze the rest, and that way you don't have to go through all this work again. And even when you're making dinner at night, double it. So that way, the following day, you can either have it for lunch or dinner again, and you don't have to cook twice.
So, pan. In this case, we have a deep saute pan. This is a 5-quart saute pan.
Is that a made-in pan?
And to that, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil.
They must be sponsoring Joshua because otherwise he wouldn't be showing their logo. He always puts tape over it.
Yeah, coconut oil wrong. And why he calling it coconut oil?
2 tablespoons of coconut oil.
Oil in khao soi, it comes from spice and coconut milk. When you heat them up, the oil split out. If you use extra coconut oil, it's gonna be too oily.
Add your khao soi paste, half of it. I'm just gonna let that saute, let that fry up. You don't wanna get it too colored, so we'll quickly go in with 2 1/4 cup of coconut milk.
Okay, coconut milk, okay.
Half fat, not light, not coconut cream, full fat coconut milk. That's a good sound. You want it to do that. So you're gonna deglaze that by stirring around the pan, scraping up any stuck bits on the bottom. Then you're gonna add 2 3/4.
But Uncle Joshua, you haven't finished cooking yet. Your oil haven't split from the paste. Go see Auntie Pailin video. See that red oil coming out from the paste? That's how it's supposed to look. Maybe that's why Uncle Joshua used coconut oil in the beginning. He tried to fake the oil coming out, but it's not gonna taste as good.
I agree with Uncle Roger on this, why Joshua is doing this, but I also think that Joshua doesn't want to split his sauce. When making a sauce, you can either have an emulsified sauce where it's an emulsification, so nothing is split, or it's a split sauce where the fat and the water splits from each other. If you're making this at home, it's not that important.
Then you're gonna add 2 3/4 cup of water. Oh my God,
What the
Josh,
okay?
all that flavor is gone. It's gonna reduce. We just need to create volume for it to reduce. 1 1/2 tablespoons of black soy.
So black soy, correct.
Regular soy sauce.
Regular soy,
3
good.
tablespoons of finely chopped palm sugar.
Palm sugar. Uncle Roger maybe use a bit less because American people making Thai food always too sweet. When I eat at Thai restaurant here in America or UK, I always ask them, less sugar please.
This is true, and I don't know why there's always a necessity to add a bunch of sugar to something. There's so much sugar in everything already that you don't need more sugar to something that shouldn't be super sweet to begin with.
Increase the heat to medium-high. Bring that bad boy to a boil, then reduce the heat to low so it's a nice light simmer, and you're gonna gently lower in 6 to 8 chicken drumsticks depending on their size.
Protein in khao soi, either chicken or beef.
And if you're vegan, what do you add in this instead of chicken garbanzos?
Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, but what about the browning? You didn't brown them. You could sear them if you want.
No.
A lot of the time in these recipes, they're honestly just poached in here, and I think it adds a subtlety to the flavor that makes this dish special.
Nobody sear chicken for khao soi. Don't do that. Wasting time. The only thing you should sear is the people who tell you need to sear.
The thing is, when you sear chicken, or most food for that matter, if you get a nice golden brown color on it, it adds texture and it also adds flavor. We like to do this in the West a lot. We even sear the vegetables or saute our veggies before we make the stock or stews because it brings out more flavor and because it cooks faster.
Now, once that comes up to a simmer, we're at low heat. You're gonna put a lid on and let that gently.
And you know you cook khao soi meat correct, but you can eat this meat without any knife. You just use chopstick and it all fall off the bone. For braised Asian meat like this, if you need knife, you fucked up. Let's see if Uncle Joshua achieved that.
Has Jamie Oliver made this recipe before? Because if he has, then please guys, let me know down below. Let's review it before Uncle Roger.
All of our toppings and everything, because why just stand here and wait? So,
There's another hour added onto the recipe. Toppings are good, they are, but you can go overboard with toppings.
first, wonton noodles.
Wonton noodle correct for you.
These are both going to be a topping and in the dish. These are a little too long to fry all at once, so we're just gonna cut
Yeah,
it into
cutting noodle, okay. We're not Italian.
oil around 350 Fahrenheit. Take your noodles and then just gently lower those bad boys.
Correct.
Batches, obviously.
The sizzling sound good.
Golden brown and crisp and the bubbling has subsided. Remove them with a spider and drain on a paper towel. That's
Correct.
it. Takes literally 30 seconds, maybe a minute max. Now, while that's still hot, I want you to immediately
What you
season it with
doing?
salt. If-
Season with salt. Why? For what? Not everything is French fry, white guy. I never see any Asian person salting their noodle like that. Uncle Joshua, I think you've been ranking too many fast food chains. You're getting influence. You don't need to salt bay your noodle.
This is true, Joshua has changed his style completely. Whatever happened to the but better videos?
This is like paper, just plain bleached paper. And then this is like Leonardo da Vinci's paintings. That sounds a little God complexy. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just saying this is egregiously better. It's not even fair. Salt will not stick and then they all will suck. They're f***ing delicious. So next topping we have just raw shallot. Ew, yucky.
Raw shallot, correct topping.
Take the tops off of 3 nice medium-sized shallots and then just peel them.
Okay, correct.
You're gonna get a nice little mandolin, and we're gonna slice
Why?
possible.
Why you?
I prefer to use a mandolin only because it's super precise and all the cuts will be identical.
Yeah, but khao soi just regular street food in Thailand. Just chop your shallot up like real jungle Asian, please. Mandolin for what? Uncle Roger thought mandolin is just instrument, not kitchen utensil. Stop it with this Michelin star bullshit.
If you cut the shallots thin, it's a much better texture instead of just eating like a whole shallot. It really is. Shallots are not very spicy. It's in between garlic and onion.
We have all of our sliced shallots, and then all we're gonna do is set these in
Wait, what?
the sink, run water over them, place a
Why?
plate
Don't run water over it. Now all the shallot flavor gone. Hiya.
Turn them off with water to get some of that sulfuric acid off.
Next, we're gonna just eat the sulfuric acid. Don't be scared. Why so weak?
Now, as far as rinsing the shallots, that is not a necessity. I mean, you can eat shallots raw, you can eat red onions raw for that matter as well. And normally when I make a dressing or anything, I add a shallot to my dressing and sometimes even garlic if I'm making like a basil vinaigrette.
Thinly slice some green onions. I like to just kind of
Okay, green onion good.
ends. And you're just gonna slice these into nice little rounds. Now this is, to some, not optional, to others, optional, but pickled mustard greens.
Yo, correct. That another ingredient everybody overlook. And it's not optional, okay? Uncle Roger think this is the most important topping for khao soi. It's little bit sweet, little bit sour. Balance out the heaviness of curry broth. I know it's unusual ingredient, but nowadays there's so many Asian grocery store online now. Uncle Roger remember when I first moved to Western country, there's no such thing. Uncle Roger had to smuggle in Asian ingredient on airplane. I get stopped at customs so many times, and I have to explain to officer, this not drug, this just char siu, relax.
How old though was Uncle Roger when he came to the UK? I mean, I could actually imagine Uncle Roger doing this, you know, probably like a little 4-year-old, and he had stuff in his backpack.
And it adds a little bit of flavor, it adds some tartness. I like it on there. All right, after about 35-40 minutes, you should have tender, succulent chicken and a luscious khao soi broth. You can always add a little bit more coconut milk. If you
No, don't add more coconut milk. This thickness perfect.
Tablespoons of fish sauce.
Fish sauce,
4
correct.
Tablespoons of fresh lime juice.
Wait, what? No, don't add lime juice now. Lime, you just cut some lime, serve to customer. Let them put in broth themselves. You put lime juice now, the heat's still on. The lime just gonna lose flavor. Hiya, might as well just put water in there. Uncle Joshua, you make this mistake before in your tom yum video and your Thai green curry video. You put lime too early. Why it seem like you never learn? Uncle Roger need to go over there and hit you with slipper.
No, Uncle Roger, don't use a slipper. Use a steel toe shoe. They hurt more. But this is true with every single Asian recipe. He adds lime early. Don't know why.
Now, at this point, you can taste it. If it needs more salt, you can either add more fish sauce or a little bit of salt. I like to do fish sauce only to keep it funky. And of course, you can balance it with a little bit more acid if needed.
More lime.
Always taste. See, it needed more fish sauce.
Tasting good. This Asian food have to adjust with feeling.
You don't need to be adding more lime to this. Not only are limes not the cheapest thing anymore, you can add them a la minute at the last minute, but it's just a waste.
Juice. I like to try to get it as far along
More lime.
before I serve it. Don't you want your guests?
Not gonna work because there's too much heat.
You could even add more palm sugar too if you want.
Oh, no more sugar, please.
Feels right. It's pretty f***ing good, dude. Now all I need to do is boil my noodles. So you're just gonna boil these according to package directions. I want them al dente. By that I mean I want a little bit of chew in them. I don't want them complete mush. Please, dear God. You're pouring hot broth over these.
Don't need to be so al dente. Little bit soft, okay for khao soi.
Through, take them over to your bowl, strain.
Top-down angle shot like this. Uncle Roger have a feeling Uncle Joshua gonna do some fancy shit again.
That, and we can see that made in is clearly in the image. So again, I think they paid for this.
Foods, bang, plop them in there, all right? I like a lot of noodle, but you can put as little or as much as you like. Divide your noodles amongst 4 bowls. In each bowl, you're gonna place 2 of your drumsticks. Ladle in your broth evenly between the bowls. Top with pickled mustard greens, thinly sliced
why you plating it like ramen?
fried noodles,
This different noodle dish.
fresh cilantro, and a couple lime wedges just in case.
Just every time Western chef make noodle dish, they always plate it like ramen because they think it make it fancy.
Somebody's gonna click on that instead of just a bowl of slop.
Khao soi, when you eat in Thailand, they don't give shit. It's just some random aunties throwing the bowl in your face. That's what make khao soi good. customer abuse.
That is a stunning khao soi. Wow, look at this. It is beautiful, it's glorious.
Again with the epic music.
As unbelievable. You got the noodles and the little crunchy bits and the soft chicken. This is the type of dish where you go, why did I ever eat rice with curry? The chicken
What?
This is the type of dish where you go, why did I ever eat rice with curry?
Yeah, Uncle Roger like khao soi also, but rice with curry good also. They both can live. You make one good noodle dish and now you throw rice under the bus.
To honestly judge this recipe, we would have to remake this and test it. But from how it looks very pretty. I do have to admit, that is a very pretty dish.
This is by far one of my most favorite soups in the entire world and probably one of the best versions of it at home by making it the right way. And honestly, it's not really that hard. Even if you skipped frying the wontons, it would still
No,
be delicious.
don't skip that.
Like them on there.
This is so epic. It's just YouTube, not chef table. Okay, overall, pretty good. Just some small mistake like coconut oil, salting the fried noodle, and putting lime in too early. Oh, and he missing one topping, the spicy chili oil. Not bad, Uncle Joshua.
I have to say that I really enjoy Joshua's new channel. It reminds me to more of his older videos, and I really enjoy Joshua's older content. His newer content where there's a lot of jokes, jump cuts between each scene, which is less than a second. Trust me, I have edited those videos. It is a pain in the you-know-what to do. Let me know, guys, down below what you think of Joshua's recipe and if you've actually tried this, if it's a good recipe to maybe remake, to actually test. Maybe we'll remake it. And if you haven't seen our previous remake of Joshua's Swedish meatballs, be sure to check that video after seeing this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to check this next video out here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you again very soon. Until next time, guys, take care.
Vacilamos en tu mente, gozándonos la vida es más que suficiente.